Welcome, everybody. As you know, my name is Anne Verseelen. I'm the Global Head of Sustainability at Bekaert. And today, it's really an exciting day, I would say, because we announce our partnership with the Solar Impulse Foundation. Very glad to have you here, Bertrand. And I also want to welcome my colleagues, Inge, Vincent, and Kadir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Great to be with you and see things are moving now so well inside the world of industry.
Thanks for being with us, Bertrand. No, indeed, it's exciting times. We're truly moving as a company, and I'm truly glad to have our experts around the table who can share about our exciting solutions that we have at Bekaert.
Solution is the word I love. We're in a world where everybody focuses so much on the problems, fight together in order to solve problems without knowing how to solve them. And instead of that, we can speak of solutions, look where the solutions can apply, make people excited about it, find investments for the solutions, and at the end, decarbonize much better and much faster.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and we have a true ambition to be very bold, to generate 65% of our revenue by 2030 from these sustainable solutions, with three markets that we specifically want to focus on, energy transition, construction, and then also mobility. If my colleagues can introduce themselves and explain a bit who you are, what you do, would be great. Yeah.
Okay, I will kick it off then.
Okay.
So, hello, my name is Inge Schildermans and I'm representing the energy transition in general here. I work for Bekaert from the Fiber Technologies business unit. It's a business unit in which we serve and are active in, let's say, a broad spectrum of high-end market applications. And in particular, we focus on solutions, on key components for the electrolysis of water to produce green hydrogen, which is going to play a key role in the energy transition.
When we think about Bekaert, we think about steel wires, and we don't expect that the first thing you're going to explain is about hydrogen.
Yeah, absolutely, and there will be more to come.
Well, Vincent?
Yeah, then I will continue.
Yeah.
So my name is Vincent. I will be talking today about new mobility solutions, and more specifically about this fascinating new product that we want to bring to the market. It's over here. It's called the Hairpin Project. We're actually still looking for a commercial name. And this is something new, something innovative for Bekaert. We're going to go away from this steel, which you mentioned before, and we're going to start developing a copper wire. And this copper wire is used in electric motors that we find in electric vehicles we all see outside today.
In my next electric motors to fly with something crazy,
could also be
you can provide this?
Absolutely.
You know, I love electric motors because they are so much more efficient. Mm-hmm. You need 3 to 4 times less energy for the same result with an electric motor than with a thermal engine.
Yep.
So it's not just a question of noise and pollution, it's a question of efficiency. You use less energy if you're electrifying the mobility.
Yeah. I'm happy you say that, because indeed the efficiency of an electric motor is considerably higher.
You know, on Solar Impulse we have 97% of efficiency, losing 3%. And when I was landing and I had to take a car to go to the hotel, it was 20%, 25% of efficiency, so losing 3/4 of the gasoline from the tank. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah. Thermal engines, it's really the world of the past.
Absolutely.
It is.
The world is
compared
changing.
to electric motors.
Yes.
We hope to be a part of that with this product as well within Bekaert. Yeah.
And I think we see that efficiency improvement in many different industries. Obviously, automotive is being the technology driver for that efficiency, but also in construction industry as well, where we see a lot more need from the customers to do more with less, using less material, but more efficient material to not only increase the performance of the buildings, but also the process of constructing. Maybe I'll take that to also introduce myself.
Yes.
My name is Kadir. I'm representing here our building products division within the specialty business unit. And our main focus is actually reinforcing construction. And when I say construction, we can talk about 3 main areas. Our main focus today is concrete reinforcement with our steel fibers. where we can efficiently replace partially or completely the traditional reinforcement to allow not only savings in materials, but also reducing the amount of concrete that will be used. So all that material saving translates into sustainability or carbon emission reduction.
When we speak of construction, I don't think people really understand the magnitude of what has to be done in the future. Just to host the newcomers on the planet and the people coming from rural areas to cities, in the next 20 years, humankind has to build the equivalent of a city of Manhattan every 4 months.
Absolutely.
So if we use traditional systems for construction, we are lost. It's too much carbon, it's too much natural resources. It just doesn't work. So we need these type of things, absolutely. And you are really at the point of everything that we need in your company. And it's a real privilege to be able to work with you and promote all these solutions with the Solar Impulse Foundation, and also look at all the solutions that you can use to continue. No, it's a really interesting partnership. I like this type of things.
No, we're truly excited.
That's the type of relation that is really win-win. Win-win-win.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're very excited because we know we're at the forefront of something bigger, and we can help contributing to it, and that makes it very fulfilling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe people don't really understand at first why I'm here. But the Solar Impulse Foundation, this is mainly for all your teams who don't know it yet, but the Solar Impulse Foundation is looking for solutions everywhere in the world that exist, that can protect the environment, and that are economically profitable for the company producing it as well as for the consumer. So it's a way to be more efficient in all the systems we use, in all the energy we use, in all the resources that are being used. And if you are more efficient and you produce better with less, your margin of profit is higher, and for a consumer, it's less money spent.
Absolutely.
So it's a message that really is important, I believe, to change the narrative of ecology, because for a long time ecology was boring, expensive, threatening our lifestyle, and we have to show that it's the opposite.
Yes,
it's exciting, it's profitable, it creates jobs, it allows economic development, but with a very low carbonization and very low use of natural resources.
Yeah, it's truly about value creation ultimately. It's creating these win-wins. Absolutely. Maybe Bertrand, can you elaborate a bit more on your City Solutions Guide?
Yes. Yeah, because now we managed to identify and label 1,500 of these solutions.
Okay.
And we want to promote them in different sectors. So we made we did the Solution Explorer. On the website, it's a search engine for solutions. So you go and look for what you need. And then we made the Solution Guide for Cities, about 190 solutions specifically for construction, mobility, waste management, energy, water for the cities. And we're working now on the NECPs, the National Energy and Climate Plans of the European Commission. Each country in Europe has to provide a plan how to reach decarbonization. But honestly, they don't really know what are the solutions to use for that, because you have so much incumbent companies, so much mainstream, so much habits and fear of changing, that very often these plans are a little bit empty. So we try to bring the solutions in order to help the countries to reach very ambitious plans.
Okay, fantastic. And
so all these type of solutions like Dramix, like all these things, it's exactly not just what we need, but what the world needs in order to reach the pledges that have been made.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of a toolbox where then the cities can pick their solutions from to see what's most applicable to reach their targets?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We take success stories from one city that has tried something interesting, another city who tried something else, and we made a survey and looked at what really works and how it can be globalized.
Okay.
And for the NECPs, it's exactly the same. You have so many of these solutions that are just not known enough. Dramix people don't know it.
No. Maybe you can a little bit elaborate on Dramix, Kadir?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of my favorites.
I really like what you were saying, Bernard, and it really resonates with us very much because, I mean, we've been around, promoting Dramix for more than 50 years now, but it's been gradually progress because of the mindset in the construction. It's rather conservative towards the innovative solutions, so it takes time to build up those reference cases, like you said. And we see more and more driver for the sustainability as well, and it's coming from the end customer, like you said, like people like us. We are looking for more sustainable buildings, more sustainable cars with electrification and so on. So then the governments try to bring some new regulations, right? And like you also mentioned, about how much the urbanization and the population growth would require so much investment in construction with the new buildings. Governments are putting these limitations into carbon emission from material because we see that the material carbon emission representing a big chunk in the construction sector. And that's where our solution came into play about how it translates into customer needs. Like I said, let's take an industrial floor of 10,000 square meter. With the traditional rebar, we have to construct a thicker floor because it's only two-dimensional reinforcement. But with solutions like Dramix, where we have more homogeneous distribution of the reinforcement, reducing that crack happening on the concrete surface, we can not only reduce the amount of reinforcement, but also reducing the concrete thickness. And if we reduce 2 centimeter concrete thickness on a 10,000 square meter of floor, that's already 200 cubic meter of concrete savings. That translates significantly into concrete CO2 saving as well. Another example.
Can I see the Dramix fibers? How do they look?
Absolutely.
Wow.
So normally these fibers are glued like this, and we have a water-soluble glue which allows the homogeneous distribution of the fibers throughout the concrete mix. Mm-hmm. So we not only have one layer of rebar, but we have a continuous reinforcement throughout the concrete matrix, which allows that reinforcement providing the same amount of performance with less material.
So you're really mixing the fibers.
Exactly. So fibers are mixed with the concrete, eliminating the need for that labor of cutting and bending the rebar, because that's also not only labor intensive, but also not a very safe environment in the construction
so it's
process.
Sustainable, it's safe.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Also, we can talk about the tunnel segment linings. We see a lot more projects happening, cargo souterrain, for example, in Switzerland, as you may also know.
What is cargo souterrain, Kadir?
It's in order to construct tunnels underneath Switzerland to manage more efficient transportation.
Distribution of freight.
Yeah.
Underground and very fast.
Yeah, definitely. And Bekaert also part of it with our segmental lining solutions. Also, another example I can give is the West Connex, which is in Australia, where we built a 33-kilometer of tunnel. If you imagine a 33-kilometer of tunnel and how much rebar would be needed.
Yes.
And if you eliminate that rebar, put Dramix 4D solution in there, which allows a higher performance, where we can also reduce the thickness of those segmental lining along 33 kilometers. That's a substantial CO2 savings that we're talking there.
Can you quantify that? What could it potentially mean versus the conservative solution and then the Dramix solution? How much you are saving?
Absolutely. It obviously depends from one project to another. If we're eliminating a double layer mesh and reducing the concrete thickness, we're probably talking about 35% of CO2 savings overall.
That's significant.
Between 20 to 35% CO2 savings. And
then you put decarbonized cement.
Combined with that,
and you use recycled concrete from demolition waste.
Yes.
And you really divide your CO2 emissions probably by 3, by 4.
Exactly. That's the partnerships
we work with
that we're having
for these type of things.
Yeah.
And they would love something like that, because although it's less use of concrete, it's a better quality, and what they want is to have a perfect quality and the newest innovation to provide to the customer.
Absolutely, and that's our ambition, to become the green and smart reinforcement provider for fiber solutions inside the concrete. So we're quite fascinated actually with how this sustainability is evolving and how we have actually a positive contribution in the industry. So that's really one of our biggest drivers, and also how we want to support our customers.
Wow, super. Thank you, Kadir. Maybe we come back to you,
And it's
Vincent.
the first, to add,
Sorry, Bertrand.
because for us it's really important, but it's the first Bekaert solution that received the Solar Impulse label.
Absolutely.
Correct,
Indeed.
yes. We recently, this week, received our Solar Impulse label for Dramix Solutions.
And I don't think I have it. No, I gave it to Oswald Schmid, your CEO, just before this recording. And I hope I get it back.
Here it is.
Okay.
Voilà.
No, because Oswald wanted to keep it, and I said, no, I want to show it. I want to look. This is something nice.
Yes, absolutely. So this really
the
also
label for Dramix.
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations,
thank you,
Kadir.
thank you.
Yeah.
So now I can hand it over to you, but
indeed.
give it
Thank
back to Oswald Schmidt, because I think
I will,
he
I
wants
will.
to keep it also.
Bertrand, what do we need to do to get one for our project?
Indeed.
We want one too.
Yeah,
Yes?
absolutely. We
Did you
should-
submit? Did you submit your technology
looking at
yet?
that.
Okay.
Oh, that's the first step. Huh?
It's a first step indeed, because that's the aim. No? That's,
No, I would like
I think
you
it's
to,
a perfect solution as well for this.
submit it, but it's not a label we give because we are friends.
no.
It's a label that is given by a group of experts. We have 370 external and independent experts who are analyzing, assessing all these solutions. And if they are positive, then we can give the label. So you have to explain quite a lot. It's
have to
a hard
convince them.
work.
Yeah.
You have to convince them.
You can ask Kadir how much
I
work
had
it is.
many calls to promote the Dramix, how our product is sustainable but also profitable. That allows all those savings and benefits for the customers. But I'm sure hairpin is also there.
Seems very interesting. I think indeed we would like to do that as well.
Because it's the first time we talk about hairpin, right, Vincent? Can you elaborate a bit more about this exciting new solution?
I can, and thank you for having us indeed explaining this, because we have been silent, but now I think we're ready to bring this to the market. We're closer with the development. So this is, I think, something which fits very well within the mindset of what the foundation, the Solar Impulse Foundation, is doing. It's bringing a new product, but it's also looking at the new technologies. It's focusing on the megatrends. We all see the electrification out there. And within that market, there's a tendency to move from the existing technology, 400 volts to 800 volts, which will allow faster charging. And this product enables that 800 volt technology. Because when you are moving in technologies, you need, of course, components that are able to bring that. That is specifically what we're trying to do as well with the product. And I have a small version here, but actually this is a life-size one. And
But where do you put it on the engine?
so it goes within the stator, this fixed part of the engine, where we will have copper wire, the copper wire, which is in the end bent in the size of a hairpin. This is where the project name comes from. And many of these hairpins, in fact, are put very close next to each other in a cylindrical way. They form one layer, they could be multiple layers. And then, of course, this is used to, when you put electricity and current through it,
to produce the magnetic field.
Indeed.
That pulls the rotor inside.
And then the rotor can drive and propel your car, indeed.
Or your plane.
Or your plane.
Don't forget it.
Any other type of electrical machine, in fact. Yes, true. Especially planes, because they need high efficiency. And this is also there for improving the efficiency. It used to be round, bundled wire. And this is now becoming an organized pattern, these hairpins, which give much more efficiency.
Yes.
And we hope that our product, which has a new coating as well, will add to that efficiency while being more sustainable than the current solution, which you see over here, by the way. So this is another coating, another color. And during the manufacturing process, we can reduce the CO2 emissions of that product, of that manufacturing. But not only during the manufacturing, also later in the lifetime, this will be more sustainable. Especially, it's also possible to recycle this product if you want. It's a thermoplastic material. The other one is much harder to recycle.
Yeah. So it's and contributing to circular economy and reducing CO2 emissions.
At the same time, correct.
How much copper can you save compared to a normal electric engine?
That depends a bit on the design. I would say at the start it's conservative, perhaps 5 to 10%. That's being looked at the moment. But it's not only on the copper savings, it's also about energy losses.
Yes.
When you move that 400 volt to 800 volt, you have less energy losses because you can reduce the current through it. And that energy can go back to the battery. So one can drive longer with the 800 volt based solutions. Yeah. So that is, I think, also a big win, both from sustainability as well as an economic point of view.
And you have a good response from the constructors of motors?
Definitely.
And also to go on 800 volts?
In fact, we have a pool even, so that's a
yes.
perfect situation, yes. We see this trend of 800 volt cars popping up more and more, and we believe by end of this decade it will be more than half probably of the cars that are being produced with the new technology.
Which are the typical brands that, let's say, the typical cars that come on the market now having this new technology in place?
New 800 volt technologies, we see them in different layers. It starts often with premium and luxury cars. Porsche Taycan was in fact the first one, but this will be trickling down to the standard cars as well. So today, Kia EV6 or Hyundai Ioniq uses 800 volt technology, and many more are there to come.
And when do you think it will be more commercially scalable in the, let's say, the standard cars?
I think this is ongoing as we speak. So it takes some time, of course, between the development is really brought into the market. But in 2-3 years from now, we see this strong increase of the 800 volt cars, which will have such a solution.
Okay, nice.
I think it's a very nice product. It's also something where we've been using traditional technologies from Bekaert, but looking beyond, beyond steel. So we're moving into copper, which is new for Bekaert. But we can use existing technologies, flattening the wire.
It's a big change, huh? To go from steel to copper.
Absolutely, yeah. Not only in technology, you have to look at the sourcing, you have to look at the final application. It's challenging, but very interesting.
I understand why your CEO told me that he's building with all of you the new Bekaert. I like this name.
Yeah, indeed.
That's true.
So important for the industry to reinvent itself.
Yeah.
I hate status quo. I hate all these old ways of doing, and people say, oh, we cannot do anything else because we've always done like this.
But that's the fascinating thing, indeed, really building on the heritage and then bringing it to the next level, like you say, beyond.
You know, the big industrial failures did not come so much from mistakes that have been done, but rather for the fact that people have been using for too long something that was working. Yeah. And then when you have a change in the market or a change in the situation of the world, people are not ready because they have done always more of the same instead of being always ready to adapt to something else. So that's nice examples of this paradigm shift.
Indeed. It's because people also understand sustainability is becoming important. They want electric cars. I feel that this is becoming interesting.
And even in an electric motor, you need electricity that might come from hydrogen and fuel cells.
Indeed.
So you are involved also. Huh?
Indeed. Yeah,
it's a perfect bridge.
Story.
Yeah, because sometimes people oppose the electric mobility to hydrogen mobility, but it's wrong. You have to oppose battery and hydrogen. But at the end, you have electricity coming to an electric motor, wherever it comes from, the battery or the hydrogen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So Inge, maybe we can
absolutely
come to your topic, the energy transition.
Yeah,
Can you tell a bit more about your exciting solution that you have brought today?
Yeah, but maybe let's take it first back, green hydrogen, and then why green hydrogen, and because this is really going to play a key role in the energy transition towards a net zero carbon society. Yeah, it will help to enable emission-free everything, emission-free industrial processes. I think the majority of hydrogen is still grey and brown hydrogen being used for feedstock in industrial processes. So to make it emission-free, it's going to be replaced by green hydrogen. But also emission-free transport, heavy-duty, long-haul transport, emission-free heating, but it can also act as an interseasonal energy storage. But green hydrogen is still expensive because it's coming from the electrolysis of water into hydrogen and oxygen, and when it's going to use electricity from renewables, wind or solar, then it's called green. It's still not cost competitive versus the grey or the brown hydrogen. And that is then where we would like to come in as Bekaert. We would like to make sure that our customers, the OEM electrolyzers, that they can make their systems cheaper. Because that's their main challenge. So their challenge to really make it a scalable application, electrolyzers, is cost. I think by the end of the decade, they need to go down by 30 to 50% of their system cost. And then also the scalability of the supply chain. Everybody needs to follow to make the plans happen.
And how do you help that movement towards a cheaper hydrogen price?
Okay.
What do you do to make it cheaper?
What do we do? We'll take some samples with
I'm
me.
really excited.
So this is what we offer as a solution. It's called a porous transport layer. We brand it under the name Curento. Well, it looks like a carbon board, but it's not. It's really a very open, porous structure made out of metal fibers. Maybe we can take
It's
a bit of a larger
titanium?
sample. This is titanium, yes, because it needs to be corrosion resistant.
Yes.
Where exactly we are in the place of the cell stack, it needs to be corrosion resistant.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
there we
is
have
a
a bigger
bigger
sample.
That's better for the camera.
Yeah, indeed.
So as you can see, a very open porous structure made out of very thin metal fibers, 14 micron, 22 micron, out of titanium. And it's sitting in a very crucial place of an electrolyzer cell stack. It's what we call the three-way point. It's where the magic happens. It's where water comes, where the electricity is, and where you have the catalyst in the cell stack that is then necessary to split the water into hydrogen and oxygen. So because of the very nice open structure, it really helps to enable a much higher efficiency and therefore reduces the overall cost of the system. It also enables lower footprints for the customer. And what we also, not only the cost that we're trying to work on, but what our customers really want is scalability, security in supply chain. Can we follow? So global footprint, local for local, making sure we have contingency is keeping them awake at night, and we'd like to make sure that they sleep on both ears. So it's an exciting product that we would like to further
It's
put into the
already
market.
used?
Yes, it's
You already
used.
have customers for it?
Yes, actually, we already do this for 20 years. Yeah, so
The same one?
product, yes. However, it only got really traction the recent years because of green hydrogen for the emission-free targets. So it got traction because of macroeconomic events that happened recently, this trend towards energy transition. But also more and more governments are expressing or committing to very ambitious hydrogen-related targets. They're putting funding in place, they're putting incentives in place to really materialize it. And that has been giving the boost the last 2 years, and now we are in acceleration phase.
But it's fascinating to see that you are already since 20 years with this.
You're a truly innovative
And now that
innovative
the
company.
market is pulling it, you are ready to provide it. And some people just wake up today and say, oh, we should do something, but they don't know how to do it. It shows that innovation always has to be ready in advance.
Indeed, that you have
Even
to
if
look.
you don't know how you're going to use it, you need to be ready with everything. And then you pick one and it...
Yeah, well, it starts with a vision. You have to believe in it, that one day it will come. And then you have technologies maybe from other markets that you use. It's a cross-pollination, and then suddenly you have a product that's fit for use.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but it's also a nice solution to be included one day, hopefully, in the solutions guide for cities.
Yeah,
I hope so. I hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because indeed the major application is industrial processes. So that's 90% of the whole applications, and trying to make them green. But the next one is transport. Heavy duty, long haul transport. So I think maybe the city guide, this could be a nice anchor point.
Yes. And the national energy and climate plans also, because Europe is now focusing a lot on electrolyzers, production of hydrogen, because everybody knows how to use hydrogen. Now we just need to produce it in a big amount.
But as Bekaert, we don't want to only play in electrolyzers. In the generation production part, we would like to be playing in the whole value chain of hydrogen. So this is generation production, but we do have applications where we think we could play in transmission and distribution, but also in the application in use, even in heating applications, for example.
So really covering the full value chain spectrum. Indeed.
Well, actually, we're actually very proud because we received 2 signatures for funding from the Belgian Cabinet of Energy for 2 of the projects within Bekaert. One is for hydrogen generation, and the other one is a hydrogen transmission opportunity. So for me, that's a sign that there's much more able in the whole Bekaert cross BU to work in the value chain of hydrogen.
Yes.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you think it will ever be inside a car? Hydrogen cars is also one of the opportunities that's presenting itself. So
I'm a bit doubtful in cars, to be honest. You do have some companies that brand a hydrogen-fueled car, but I think it's much more suitable for the heavy-duty, the long-haul transportation, like airplanes, like marines, vessels, like trains. But for cars, I think the batteries will be the winning technology.
No, this will go everywhere that the battery is too heavy.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
So solutions for batteries, solutions, hydrogen.
in the end, you still will need that motor, like Bertrand said, where the energy comes from.
Yes.
It does not really matter. This is a solution for the motor, so it can be a battery, it can be hydrogen. Would be nice if it could fit together for Bekaert.
My next flight around the world will be with a hydrogen airplane, non-stop.
It's amazing.
So I need green hydrogen.
Yes.
You can count on us.
So
Indeed.
you produce it and you make my engines.
That's a perfect proposal.
Electric engines.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah, indeed. So Kadir, we have already now one solution that is that has received the Solar Impulse Foundation label, but we have so many more solutions, so many more sustainable solutions. Can you elaborate a bit more on these exciting solutions? Would be very...
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, we are in the reinforcement of construction business, and this is for the concrete area. But we also do have solutions for reinforcement for masonry, for the brick walls, where we can actually increase the lifespan and also ductility of these walls. Just to show, for example, one of the products, innovative products that we have, what we call Mur4 Compact, and this is for masonry reinforcement. In a traditional way, how the masonry reinforcement is done is with some bulky steel wires that has to be connected, placed there one by one. It was also quite a time-consuming and also a lot of material-intensive reinforcement. But with this type of Mur4 Compact, as we also innovated around a couple of years ago, we actually eliminated not only 70% of the material that needs to be used, but also by putting it in a roll, it's much easier for the installers to install it. They just roll it on the ground, and then that will provide the required reinforcement for that wall. Also from a safety point of view, that the wall doesn't collapse in pieces, that it keeps the wall intact. So this is one example for Mur4, which we will be also pursuing the Solar Impulse label. And also in the road reinforcement area, we all see road constructions everywhere. And it also takes a lot of effort to rebuild the whole road, taking it all out and then building it everything
And then
together.
you're stuck in traffic, it takes a lot of time.
Exactly. So imagine that there is a solution that allows you to only take the top layer of the road, you place that reinforcement and then just put the asphalt on top of it, and it saves a lot of time and also reduces the maintenance cost. So that's what we do with our mesh track reinforcement, that we can really eliminate that requirement for maintenance. So you don't have to take out the whole road. Just when you need the reinforcement, you take the top two layers, put the mesh track, put the asphalt on, and it's a much efficient reinforcement
Wow, but that's fascinating. That is what cities also would love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So because we see more and more cars, like Vincent also explained, also trucks, which is also creating bumps and some gaps in the road. So this way, by putting that reinforcement inside the asphalt, we can also increase the durability and performance of the road, which will allow us to go more smooth, more efficiently.
And that product is called?
It's called Mesh Track and
Mesh Track.
Fortifix
And
for different
Fortifix.
applications that we are promoting that one.
And if you want to be politically correct now, you have to say that it is roads also for bicycles, not only for cars.
Absolutely. That's actually one of the recent projects that we did in Netherlands. I think it was 5 to 10 kilometer of bicycle road that we installed this product, which is
excellent.
Quite an interesting project for us as well.
So coming back to the Murfor, Kadir, and how many of the applications did you already able to convert the old technology by this new sustainable one?
So we also have the traditional one, like you said, Inge, but we are more and more pushing our portfolio into this solution. Today, it's still quite a majority of our product is in the traditional one, but we are introducing this in also different markets to, provide that saving for all of our customers. So it's been increasing the share of wallet in our product quite nicely.
Okay. Okay.
So we're
How do we convince them of our sustainability impact? Is this something which goes smoothly?
Yes, in most cases, because the main driver there is the material savings. So like I said, with this kind of products, we can significantly reduce the amount of steel needed for that type of reinforcement. So if you compare a traditionally reinforced masonry wall with this Murfor solution, then it not only allows the cost savings, but also installation easiness. So in that sense, customers are also willing to see, okay, that is really a sustainable product, a profitable product that will allow me to save certain costs. So we get quite a positive feedback from the market.
Can you already be in a position today where you can win the trending of public procurement with this type of products, or it's too innovative?
We do have some projects for public procurement as well.
And you can
we have
win.
the approvals.
Yeah.
For construction, it requires certain approvals, and we are getting those approvals from country to country. Same thing applies for the Dramix as well. So those approvals, obviously, it takes time. We need to do a lot of tests, demonstrate some benchmarks. But that's the goal. That's the goal, to increase our also penetration in those kind of markets. But it's something that we do in certain markets today in Europe.
But there's a need for acceleration, that you can have these approvals in a faster way so that we can serve these markets, right?
Exactly. So that's where our main focus is that creating that awareness, explaining about our sustainable solutions, and convincing or changing the mindset of customers, of also regulatory bodies. And I think being part of Solar Impulse Foundation, that also gives us that visibility, and also that partnership, getting together with those key stakeholders, that we can show our product, demonstrate, and then get it accepted in many other markets. Today, our market share is. The construction industry is huge, and there is only one way to grow, by increasing our penetration in the market. So that's where we're focusing in our key markets, key areas, with our with the products, and both working with our customers and also these key stakeholders. We try to bring that together.
But maybe you can create some positive networks with the other partners of the Solar Impulse Foundation.
Exactly, and that's what
the one who have other solutions, and try to bridge them, and to present several solutions together in a sector.
Yes, absolutely. And
I would love to see that.
Yes.
we have those kind of partnership, like we discussed with that green concrete, for example, or 3D printing in concrete. That's also an area that we're focusing on. Or in the masonry reinforcement. For us, I think at Bekaert as a whole, innovation is a process. It's not just something that we do 1 month or so.
Yes,
we
key.
really develop that, and we have a really good capability in Bekaert that's coming from 140 years with that mindset to bring all these new innovative products to the market. And we're looking forward so much to continue bringing these innovative products by leveraging our expertise, but also creating those kind of partnerships, like you said, because at the end, it's the solution, right? We want to bring that full solution, being part of that solution. So that's I think our ambition going forward.
Yes, being the leading partner for shaping the way we live and move, safe, smart, sustainable. And with this, I would like to end and thank you all to be here, for having been here with me around this table. Thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.